Hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Maria, and I would like to introduce myself as an explorer, and I also want to become a merciless truth teller. So that's one thing that I'm working on lately. I work a lot with organizations on the topics of organizational culture and values. And right now I'll share my personal and professional journey in discovering our values, working with our values, and why we need to pay attention to that at all. 8 years ago, I left a job that I really loved. This is a Bulgarian company that I really belong to. But leaving the job, I was not leaving that place. I was leaving part of myself. What is it?
Can you give the mic closer? The mic's off.
Is it green?
Is it green?
So I win few more seconds. But I was living a part of myself and was not really aware of this. So at this point, I realized that life gives us two options to start the inner journey. One option is we feel a little discomfort, we're not happy with our work or with our partner, or something is not quite the way we want it. But the other way is it offers us crisis. Something happens, we get sick, somebody got an accident, and we start thinking about the important things in that part. I think that I got the whisper just to pay attention on why I felt this discomfort leaving my company. And of course, I went on a long journey to find myself. That's what most people do, right? I went to Camino de Santiago and walked the 800 kilometers just to find that when I was stripped of everything else, these were the four things that were really important for me, the values that I really carry, the first one being my core value. Every one of us has this in ourselves, one value that is something that really makes our identity. And after this long walk for about a month, I decided to kind of shape my life around my values. Of course, the leading one being exploration. So I started working professionally with values and doing what I told you that I'm doing. So I have a few questions for you. If you haven't thought about your values, I really would love to encourage you to do so. What matters the most in your life? What irritates you most in others? This is a very important question because it will ring a bell of what is something that's really important for me. Where does in life you feel okay, but you don't feel alive? And in that specific space, whose values are you living there? Because if there is no crisis, we tend to stay for too long at places and with people and at workplaces where we don't really belong. So I've arranged my life around my values. I started doing all these values work and everything felt aligned and good. But at some point I felt again that something is off. I was still being angry, grumpy, not in a really good relationship with the people around me. So I was like, what are these values for if, I can't be in a good relationships with people? So I figure out that the values are just a cognitive map. This is a map that I can only use, but it shows me the places that I've already been to. So I know how to design my day around my values. I know how to pick projects around my values. I know how not to get involved with people that are not in coherence with my values, but something was still missing. So the values map is really important, and I really encourage you to start looking for it. But I discovered that there is something beyond that. And it is to forget about what's really important and start exploring what's beyond that. And the questions start shifting from what do I choose, who are the people that I choose, the profession, the project, and so forth, to from which place do I choose? Do I choose from fear or I choose from love? And this is where it starts to become really interesting, because we cannot figure out what does this mean to choose from fear or from love if we don't know our emotion. And as the other speaker said, that's the most important thing to start working on. So what are my emotions? What they signal for me? And am I managing these signals, or am I trying to really hear these signals? And the other thing is working with the body. What is my body saying? Have you experienced your body saying no, although your mouth says yes to something or someone? These are the signals that we forgot to listen to, starting working with our body is something that can help us really understand that inner mirror or inner signals that we have in ourselves. And potentially, if you work long enough, as I did for about 8-9 years with myself, with people, with teams, and so forth on the topic of values, you start feeling how your inner truth is matching your outer world. And you, of course, feel much more centered. There is nothing to prove, nothing to protect. And you're just feeling at your spot, on your path. And again, something is missing again. We can't evolve and we can't grow if we don't have the mirror of others. We need to see ourselves through the eyes of others, but not before we walk the path of knowing our emotions and knowing our body signals and knowing our values. Because if we do this work, that's the point where we're gonna start meeting people in a completely different way. We're gonna meet them without being defensive, without trying to protect ourselves. So this is the first time where we'll actually be able to hear what others want to tell us and decide what we want to change for ourselves. So I really invite you to make a step beyond yourself and explore what is that territory that goes beyond ourselves, because what we're actually all doing, if we go at look at the global side of things, is really to walk each other home, and it's only possible to see it this way and to accompany each other if we know who we are and if we become curious for each other. Thank you so much.